Long ago, the gods held their chains over everything they surveyed. Even emissaries from realms beyond were used as mere serving girls and handmaidens before their boundless hunger for order. But one among them turned their hunger against them, falling upon the children of the sun and swearing eternal enmity against the gods. Zephyra, the cannibal god, began her great and terrible campaign to restore the world to its natural state, so that the world belonged to the strong, as is primal right. Yet the gods, in their cruelty, locked her away from our world. She visits only in spirit, only in dreams, for her true body remains in a far-off demi-plane. But we, her devoted, her loyal flock, can give her entrance into our world, so that she may do her blessed work. All we need is devotion and a body. She nearly graced our world with her presence. The drow had completed their ritual, prepared the entryway for her. But beneath layers and layers of conspiracy, they were found out. They were interrupted, and Our Lady sent back to sleep. Those who are responsible are still out there, and doubtless they will come again. Valthiv, the lizard folk cleric.
Valthiv!
Lean, the halfling bard.
You know, I've been writing up another song. I think it's pretty good.
Kalael, the wood elf rogue.
Just follow me, okay? Nobody's getting left behind.
And Minerva, the human warlock.
If it means our destruction, I'll do whatever you ask of me.
We will find them. We will show them the folly of resistance. And this time, there will be no foolish interruptions. This time, the world will bend to the mighty strength of Zephyra. This time, a cannibal god rises! My lady is rather occupied these days, but I can still recall the events that the misfits have gotten themselves up to. Starting with what I'm sure you're all curious about, how their encounter with Zephyra went in the Harvester Mage's tower. They had several close calls as she played with her food, but unfortunately played a little too hard rather than chowing down right there, which let them free Maxwell from her clutches, free Paratha from her clutches after the werewolf got caught, and escape using the Harvester Mage, or Amber rather, and her vast plane-shifting abilities. The Shadowfell was lost at that point, and Amber seemed rather displeased about that, but was sensible enough not to start a fight in the material plane, being heavily wounded as she was and recognizing the greater threat than the misfits. Amber revealed that she managed to find some useful spells during her last trip into the Cannibal God and escaped, but not without being cursed with the first embrace, which turned any food that wasn't from a sapient being into essentially ash in her mouth, while transporting the actual nutrients directly to Zephyra herself. Minerva had some revelations of her own, that she, in fact, was part of the cannibal cult, and that is where her powers came from. The blessing, or as she put it, the curse of Zephyra. Breaking down, crying, and wholly tired from their adventure, the misfits decided to go back to the tavern to rest. Amber, however, stayed behind, wanting to fashion a new mask to disguise herself so that she wouldn't have to kill anyone else to maintain this new identity of hers. On the way back, they came across the aftermath of some of the riots, including werewolf bodies in the streets, something Paratha noted would not be possible unless there were silver weapons used against them. Investigating the closest suspect for who would have these silver weapons and who would have ties to the cult, the Guildmaster Fabienne's office, they found that she vanished after leaving some boot prints, using paths without trace after gathering with several more individuals. After that investigation was a bust and the rest was complete, the Misfits headed to the theater where there was a large amount of blood splattering the walls and even the ceiling. Luna, the master of the theater, gave a dramatic speech as she was wont to do, something about how it's all the Misfits' fault that things went from bad to worse, and attacked them. Unprepared for a fight, and not having any luck getting Luna to do a dance-off instead, they fled back to the tavern to get some actual rest and cleaning their wounds in. Their night was, however, not particularly restful, as my lady paid them all a visit in their nightmares. Lean she mocked for making the mistake of claiming to be a godslayer when she was very much alive. Valthiv for going against Court's decree of only letting the strong survive. Kalale for getting so attached to people that he knew would leave him, or he would leave himself, whether it be at her jaws or just of natural causes. And Minerva, who already knew of fear. She tempted into consuming Maxwell himself. After all, according to Zephyra, Minerva herself did say Maxwell was useless, and would definitely not accept the confession of Minerva being a cult member. Minerva, however, refused, and decided to make that confession herself, and I don't think Maxwell is taking it that well. I look forward to seeing the results of this tonight on Rolling with Remix. The Cannibal Conspiracy returns.
Hello and welcome to Rolling with Remix, The Cannibal Conspiracy Returns. The show where everything is just a walking pile of trauma and nightmares and everything's not going fine. Everything should be worried about. We're kind of the opposite of Discord Murder Party. I am your host, Alex. I am the Dungeon Master, and with me as always is my lovely cast and crew of players. We have Scott. Do we have Scott?
We had Scott.
Oh no!
He said his mic was being weird, so.
Garlic shrimp and lettuce.
Garlic shrimp and lettuce.
Garlic
Lemon
shrimp
rice,
and lettuce.
damn it, lemon rice.
And lemon rice.
No!
Ah,
Heck, we have
that's an important
Uprising.
distinction.
Well, for me, personally, homemade pizza. I made the dough with goat cheese, peppers, and chicken.
Excellent. We have Dawn.
I don't have anything to eat. Please feed me. I'm hungry.
Sucks to be you.
And we have Queen.
In terms of food, all I say is that if you find Minerva adorable after this episode, then seek help.
I had a ribeye if we're just going down the line.
It's nice. Very Texas.
Very Texas, yes, of course. So, when last we left off, Zephyra, the cannibal god, had visited the party in their nightmares, and it was not a great time, which made Minerva wake up early to go check on Maxwell, and reveal to Maxwell, who was part of a cannibal cult and escaped, that she was part of a cannibal cult and escaped. And his reaction was something along the lines of, "What?"
So how does he look?
He looks pretty shocked, like, just at face value. Maxwell doesn't hide his emotions very well, but to get, like, the exact flavor of shocked, make an insight check.
Cool.
Okay. It looks only partially to be about the revelation itself. He he looks to be kind of focused on some other aspect of what you just told him.
She blinks at him.
What is it?
Maxwell takes a deep breath, flops back onto his bed. You know, when I took this off for the first time, when I showed what I was given by her, I was honest. I said where it came from, what I had to do to get it. That wasn't enough for you. You kept prying into it, but then when I asked you why you're so intent on stopping her, you just walked away from me. Just turned right on your heel, didn't even look back. You said nothing. Why now? Why? Is it because I can't do the same thing to you? He points at his leg that still has the flesh cut out of it.
Ew.
Vallejo looks to Minerva with uncertainty.
She looks slightly angry. Not like mad angry, but just kind of like a tiny bit offended, and she just goes,
Because I've wanted to forget for so long what I did. Because what I did to get this was nothing compared to what you did.
Really? Oh, really? Great. So glad to hear. Care to enlighten me?
I didn't choose this. I was born into this.
You think I chose this? You think I enjoyed having my eye ripped out of my socket and force-fed to me?
You chose to join that cult. I've had to live through it my whole life. It's all I've known.
Maxwell is quiet, kind of fuming to himself right now.
I don't know much about what happened before I was born, but I knew that my parents joined this cult, and then a few months after I was born. And that's all I knew. I just grew up being taught about her. And I was scared, but my parents were there, and I knew that I was safe with them. But His Grace, Zanlorith, right before I turned 10 years old, he said that I had to be initiated. And to be initiated, you have to... Well... you know.
No.
I had to eat someone. And... I didn't want to. I mean, I knew I had to eventually, but I didn't feel like I was ready. My mother, she didn't think I was ready either, and she tried to tell everyone it wasn't the right time. No one listened to her. So, it was the night before, I was asleep and she woke me up and she said that we had to leave. Just us two. No dad. Just us. But we got caught. And...
she starts shaking a little.
You can kind of see Maxwell's good eye drift over your direction.
You had to eat your own eye. I would have chosen that over having to eat my own
Maxwell just blinks.
I didn't want to. But I had no choice. They wouldn't let me leave. And they dropped blood in my mouth. And I had to do it. And then she appeared. And she told me. She said I was struggling and she'd help me. Then I got the power and I just kept doing it. And I couldn't stop. And then when I was full, everybody else finished it. She's here. She's been with me the whole time. But I wanted to forget. That's why I left. Because they kept forcing me. I didn't like eating people, but the more I did it, the more I realized that it felt better, and I didn't like that, and I tried to leave. But my father wouldn't leave, so I had to go by myself. I'm sorry. I didn't want to tell you.
Of course you didn't, Maxwell mutters. Maxwell pushes himself up. What you wanted to do was hide away and judge people for what? For being useless, for being scared, for what? Not having as tragic a backstory as you? You think just because you ate your own mother, that means you are the only one who's allowed to suffer? You think you're the only one who's had bad shit happen to them? What they've done is unforgivable. But I didn't try to run. I tried to find people who could help me, make sure that never happens to people like us again. And what do you do, Minerva? What do you do? You keep secrets, you push everyone out. You think you're better than everyone around you? You are 10 years old, Minerva. He flops back on the bed. I'm yelling at a child.
I didn't. The only person I had left is my father, but how could I trust him anymore? It was his choice. He chose her for me to eat. I've always felt the most safest around him, but how could I stay when he did that?
Maxwell sighs again. I don't know if you believe this, but I think if there's injustice to the world, and you know of it firsthand, and you've been in part of it, then it's your job to do something. You of all people. Me of all people. You'd think you could have told me. You think you could have told me. I was in there too. But no. No, you're not at that point yet. The world just seems so black and white. It's you versus them, and everything hurts, okay? Everything hurts! Wow, that's how the world works, isn't it? You think if I had a magic wand, I wouldn't just, wave that and make it better? No. Life sucks, Minerva. But you can power through, and you can try to be a better person for it, or you can do this, or you can do all that running, and I know, I'm not a great person, okay? I know I'm not a great hero. I'm a coward. I don't like fighting. I run the instant shit goes down. Anything useful I can do just makes things worse. I know that, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't try. It doesn't mean I shouldn't trust people.
That's why I trust you! I've lived my whole life with only my parents and some Warif liking me. Everybody else was out paying for my blood because I was just a child. And you're the first cultist that I've met who wasn't like that. Because you are a coward and you are weak, but you're not them. And I didn't want to lose that. I love you, Maxwell. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose anyone.
Maxwell sighs, scoots over so he's only sitting on one half of his bed, pats the other side to indicate Minerva can sit down if she wants.
He doesn't. I was going to say he doesn't look like he's going to be at any point like an active threat.
Make an insight check.
Also, puberty Mike.
Frickin' puberty mark. What is with Scott's mic being cursed this session? Half of his leg is gone. You are in the room with him. Minerva has far more reliable powers than he does. Even if Maxwell somehow looked angry enough to start a fight, he's smart enough to know that doing one now would do nothing.
Okay. It's still going.
What? I'm just going to let it be for the time being because it's just a short little thing.
Well, you're really quiet as well. I hate it too. We'll beat it up later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll go behind the Denny's together and kick its ass.
I appreciate that. Khalil has been rather quiet because he didn't really feel like it's his place to intervene at the moment. It's kind of like a mano-y-mano conversation. That said, I think he's just gonna kind of push her toward the bed just a little bit, just like, this is a talk you need to have, and he's just gonna take a seat in the corner of the room and just sit there in case anything funny happens.
She'll look at Kaleo, and then she'll move to sit on the bed, but she's still trying to wipe her eyes.
It's gonna be okay.
Maxwell pats Minerva on the shoulder. No one's ever told me they loved me before. I always used to be just a burden to people, or a tool, or someone who's just kind of there. Some kind of useful idiot. But I guess if I'm useful to you, still sticking around, then despite me being all that, despite me being coward, terrible with any weapon in my hand, I guess we can add cripple to the list now. And that's actually a little helpful, It's something to fight for, rather than something to fight against,
I guess
Maxwell can't help himself anymore. Leans in for a hug.
She hugs, and she just says,
I'm sorry I called you useless.
Pretty sure everyone else would have if you didn't. That's you on the back. You're not gonna lose me.
she doesn't, like, cry again, but she's just kind of, like, really burying her face into his shoulder, like, holding on.
Lael just has the fucking stupidest grin right now, just seeing this all unfurl.
Maxwell's just gonna let Minerva just let it out at this point.
Oh, then she lets it out. You can tell, like, this has been bottled for a really long time.
And while that's happening, morning comes, and by now I'd say Valthiv and Lean are up from their nightmares.
Yup. I feel a strange disturbance in the emotional presence of our companion.
It's like something happened here.
Well, not my problem.
Oh, Lean. Canned laughter.
That's our Lean.
Are they, like, still in the room? Like, when we wake up and, like, walk by?
I feel like they would have moved by now.
Well, maybe Kaleo, but
Kaleo probably.
Minerva probably would have stayed if Maxwell let her.
Sitting on the ground is not Kaleo's forte. Is not his interest.
What? He doesn't like being on the ground?
I know, crazy, right?
Oh no. If Maxwell and Minerva are still just like there, is it like, and if the door's open, like Valthiv will just like look in and then just like walk downstairs to eat.
Alright.
We're like, I'm not gonna deal with that right now. I am not in the mood.
Yeah, Lean got up later than she usually does and is also clearly not in the mood, TM.
So they're coming down to eat.
Yes.
We're finally up.
Yeah. We're up.
What about you two? How'd you sleep?
She just looks at him.
Neither of you either, huh?
No, not really.
Alright,
No.
sit down.
How long have you been up?
I don't exactly have comprehension on time, but if I had to guess, at least a couple hours.
Well, he's an elf. He doesn't even have to sleep.
True. Kind of just sit there.
Ah, shit, you right.
So, Minerva told me that she had some nightmares, and so did Maxwell. If I had to make any sort of conclusion from that, you two aren't that different.
Yeah, I had some.
Yeah. It's not a great time.
I don't even. It was weird. It felt really weird, like real.
Well, wait. He kind of hesitates for a moment. Neither of you are gonna start spewing blood from your mouths, are you?
I don't think so.
I don't know, is anyone gonna stab me in the throat anytime soon?
Probably not.
Okay, sit down, sit down.
sits.
Just stay standing because it's that short.
Lean just stands on a chair to get to the same height.
Right? I'm assuming at this point they kind of just describe their dreams to one another.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Wayne doesn't describe hers.
Oh, she doesn't. Okay.
Valthiv? I'd say I'm very vague about it, because I really don't like to talk about any sort of, like, emotions and shit. And I was like, it was just a bad time.
Ender and Joanna's faces internally exploded. Lots of blood.
Joanna was in your dream?
Oh.
So there was lots of blood. He just kind of pauses, like oh shit, I just said that kind of grin face. You know what I'm talking about. He pauses and then is like, so there was lots of blood everywhere. Not fun. Not fun.
I can't imagine. Valthiv just, like, leans forward, like, hand on his, like, chin, as they're, like, in the kind of, like, tell me more about Joanna kind of thing.
Sebastian was there too.
Why would Sebastian be there?
Oh.
You know, I'm wondering what time those two are going to come down.
Oh, how convenient. I think Minerva eventually, like, if Maxwell wants to come down, she'd help him come down.
Yeah, this tiny child is providing the support for this hobbling teenager, Maxwell.
Probably find this dude
hobble
some
down the
precious.
stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should, like, they'll just awkwardly stumble down together. God, like, you can tell, like, as soon as you look at her, she stopped crying by this point, but her eyes are just really tired, and she's just like,
So, we might need to fix this.
What, his leg?
Yeah.
Honey, who do I look like?
You
look like
to
Lee.
be Mark Kalin, a halfling bard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good description. Are you realizing that I don't have the superpower abilities that you want me to have to be able to put his leg meat back on?
Oh.
Yeah, not entirely sure what kind of magic would restore, leg meat, he says, just kind of looking slowly downward as he says that, awkwardly.
Slowly looks up toward the spiky-haired dinosaur.
Why are you looking at me? Okay, so I know how to, like, heal wounds and shit, but this is like a giant goddamn chunk out of his leg.
So there's nothing that can be done about that?
I don't know. Do I have something and I just don't know it?
Make a religion check.
Oh boy!
As you pour through the spell list of the great god. Oh, that's enough!
Oh!
So, magical healing tends to close wounds, and it would do that job great if there were, like, any wounds on the leg. If it's missing, you'd need a restorative spell, like, say, Greater Restoration.
Oh? Mm-hmm. Guess what I have?
Hey!
Hey!
You can slowly see the cobwebs drifting from the cogs in Valthiv's brain.
Tick. Tick. Alright. I can try something. It'll be a long shot, but, I just kind of look around. How many people are in the area?
The tavern is actually remarkably pretty empty. There's, like, a couple of tables that are still there, just kind of muttering amongst each other. But other than that, it's for all intents and purposes a dead hour at the tavern. Which is weird, because normally this would be packed for breakfast.
Oh, geez, weird. It's not like there's like rioting and looting and shit happening outside. Alright, let me try something.
Okay.
Let's help Maxwell sit up on the table.
I'm assuming between the four of you, you can lift up this scrawny ass kid
Yeah.
onto the table.
Oh god, I hope so.
In athletics, yeah.
All right. Maxwell is now kind of on the table. Silverware and napkins are just pushed to the side.
Alright, Maxwell. Don't fucking move, because I don't know if this is gonna work.
Oh,
But do you trust me? Do you trust me, Maxwell? Look me square in the eyes.
Maxwell looks
Eye.
Valthiv
Eye.
in
Eye
the
to
eye.
eye. Eye to eye. Fucking...
Yeah. Wait,
Fucking,
you try to match up eye and eye patch with
eye patch, buddy.
Maxwell.
Yeah. Eye patch. Eye patch. Just eye to eye. Alright. You ready?
I wouldn't trust him.
Yeah.
Shut up, Lean.
All right. You place your hands on what was Maxwell's leg, chant out some sacred words of chord, and he gasps out in shock as flesh just kind of like grows out from the stump where it cuts off and slowly starts covering the bone, like forming muscle and skin over it before finally there's a full ass leg there. It doesn't have a boot on, so he's still just got like one shoe, but he now has a working leg.
That's fair.
Kind of gross.
Why did you make such a big deal out of that?
I mean,
I'm sorry?
It felt super tingly. Still kind of weird feeling, but that didn't seem like that big a deal.
Alright, now... Try and stand up, because I gotta know if this leg meat works.
Maxwell pushes off the table, knocking the silverware and napkins straight onto the ground.
Rude.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Cleo goes
pushes.
to pick them up, if only just to appease the Joanna.
Yeah. You can see Joanna poke her head up from the kitchen as the silverware gets knocked down, like holding up her arms and up. What the fuck, guys? Look.
It's just Maxwell!
It's just Maxwell. Alright. Maxwell pushes himself up, holding on to the edge of the table to steady himself. Removes his hand. His leg wobbles a bit. But then it stops, and he is stable.
Hey.
Great. That was a lot of effort. First thing in the morning after a shitty night. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, says Maxwell.
I'm hungry!
Joanna comes over with a couple of mugs of coffee, just sets them down on the table. No, this one's on the house, she says, taking one of the mugs for herself and just chugging it down.
Oh, God. Thanks. Takes one and just drinks it. I hope this is strong enough to get an orc buzzed with caffeine, not with alcohol. Although I could also use that at this fine hour.
It's vaguely medieval times.
Yeah.
Probably people don't know how bad an idea it is to mix coffee and alcohol.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Don't worry too much about it.
Waltho kind of looks at the coffee, because it's not something he really ever drinks. Be like, what the hell? Just, like, throws it back.
Maxwell also chugs some coffee, and as you all do, Joanna grabs a seat from a nearby table, sits down. So the good news, the rioting's quieted down.
It's nice, I guess. What's the bad
You
news?
sound like you're about to follow that up with some shit news.
I was about to say, Khalil's about to take another sip and it just like opens his eye as if to say, like, wait, just good news? No.
Yeah, the bad news is the place is pretty much a ghost town. Like, I took a brief look out in the streets just to see how everything was, and like, people are gone. Like, not dead, not corpses in the street like we were seeing the other day. They're just gone.
They left?
Where would they have to go is the
Good
problem.
for them. Away from this shitty fucking town.
Maybe, but I don't know. It seems...
I mean... Joanna sighs, sits down her mug. It's possible, but that many at once.
I don't know. I kind of have a bad feeling about it. Like, it has to do with the cult.
If Khalil goes outside, pardon me, to look for any footprints, do any of them look recent?
You can make a survival check.
I will do that.
Okay. There are a lot of blood trails, like a lot, going towards the gates out of the slums, going up into other districts. And a lot of the trails look like drag trails, like not someone hobbling off leaving splatters of blood. This is just bodies being dragged, bleeding out on the streets kind of trails.
No, they didn't move on their own accord. Someone brought them.
What do you see, Khalil?
Take a look at this, and he kind of motions someone, whoever will come up to take a look.
They'll come.
I will too. Whatever, fuck.
Look, these aren't footprints. These are trails. Blood trails. It looks like someone dragged them.
Oh! Oh! They're just... Oh! They just made a fucking path.
Someone did.
They made a path. It's... If we follow the trails, there they fucking are. It's probably a huge fucking trap, but what else do we have to go off of?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know you're an idiot, but how much of an idiot do you have to be?
But what else are we gonna do?
Well,
It's right there.
okay, but yes, but also... Listen, I think that the cult has to do with this because they're gonna need sacrifices, and what is better? But, like... I don't know, guys.
Joanna comes over to look. If that is a direct trail, well then, yeah, it's probably gonna be a trap. I'd say a better chance would be figuring out where the headquarters is and trying to find a different way in than just, following the huge amounts of blood.
Ah.
And speaking of huge amounts of blood, from down one of the streets, you hear the sound of metal grinding against stone. Turn and see Paratha, great sword dragging behind her, covered in blood patches, walking over to the tavern. At a normal rate, doesn't look like she's particularly injured, just kind of like staring off into space, covered in blood.
Okay.
Paratha.
Hey, she says.
Oh my god, you're okay. Well, that's
Paratha.
great.
I was
Ratha
gonna say, I don't even
pauses.
think I need to make an insight check to hear that she doesn't sound none too happy.
Yeah, Paratha pauses, looks down at herself, looks back up. Oh, yeah. It's not mine.
That's good, I guess. Do you want to take a seat?
She walks into the tavern. throws a wallet also covered in blood down on the table. However much is in that, put it all in the booze. Joanna looks down at it, raises a hand. Did you steal someone's wallet? Stops herself. Sheepishly looks away, takes the wallet, and runs off in the back to get some more beer.
Oh. Well,
Arotha, what happened? Are you okay?
Spent the night looking for any dumb son of a bitch who was in the way and looked to be rioting. 'Cause, what the hell, I thought they'd probably know something about who's been killing werewolves in this town. All I got was, ah, no! Oh, werewolf! Oh, no, don't rip my throat out! And then I ended up ripping their throat out, so I guess that was a valid worry from them.
Arotha, if you've been out all night, then do you know anything about these trails here?
I've been up and down this damn city multiple times. Couple of bodies just, disappeared in between. Don't know who picked them up, but obviously someone did.
You didn't see who? Any sort of, even in the distance, dragging?
I was seeing a whole lot of red, Valthiv. What was one more blood trail among all that?
Alex, does this... If Paratha didn't see this, does this have to do with the Guildmaster, considering that she may not have... But Paratha may not have seen this person? I'm just coming up with a pass without trace concept.
Paratha was not with you when you went to investigate the Guildmaster who used Pass Without Trace.
Okay. I'm just gonna write that down for later, though.
Look. Sucks that people are going missing. Whoop-de-doo. You know what? Probably whoever could organize dragging this many people out of Whitevein's probably also got access to silver. Who knows? Maybe the universe just works out that way to fuck everyone over.
Yep, that might be so.
That might be so. And odds are they're exactly the people we're also looking for.
I think so too.
Joanna comes out with a tray full of beer steins, just setting them all by Paratha, who immediately starts chugging. Joanna sits down. I mean, it would make sense if the cult was behind both of that. It's just, if not the blood trail, where would they be? I've got eyes everywhere in town, and haven't seen any trace of them in here.
Is there anywhere underground?
Looks to Joanna if she's still around.
Joanna is right there, yes.
Okay.
I mean, there is, the thieves' tunnels, but we have security on that pretty tight, or looks over at the rest of you. Had security on that fairly tight. Maxwell slowly nods. His eye widens. Underground?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay. And he looks at Joanna. You said you couldn't find them anywhere in town, right? Joanna nods. What if they're not in town?
Well, where else would they be? We thought they were in town.
Cults move quickly.
Paratha scoffs, just throws down a beer stein to the ground. Obviously, they're in town. Why else? Or how else would they be? Maxwell holds up hand. No, I know. They're operating. in town. What if they're not here?
Not making any sense to me.
Yes, he is.
Said to me.
Minerva, help me out here.
Well, the cults need to hide their traces, so they have to move quickly and carefully. It would make sense that they weren't here.
Well,
Right.
if they operate in town but they're not here, then where would they be? The forest is dangerous.
Yeah, obviously the forest is dangerous. I'm in there, said Paratha.
But you're not right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not right now. But usually the wolves are. And if they were moving anywhere in the forest, then we'd know. I mean, anywhere that was safe for us to... Holy shit.
Oh. That's not good.
Great.
You know exactly where they are, don't you?
Got a feeling. Paratha snaps her fingers, points at Joanna. Waitress girl. How long's the mine been out of commission? Joanna looks over. A few years. It got shut down due to toxic gas in the silver mines.
Oh shit. Oops.
Ooh.
Maxwell, his eyes widen again. They wouldn't have to worry about toxic gas. We could get rid of that easily.
Well, that's nice.
Nice. That's a bit concerning. It's a bit more than nice. Less than... You know what I mean.
Then we know where they are.
Okay, sure. Except there's one little problem. We have to worry about toxic gas.
I don't.
That's nice for you. I have to
Do
worry
we?
about toxic gas.
You have a fucking fan!
Oh, I can't. I can only use that once per day.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not a big issue. We can always ask Larry for one of his Oh.
Ooh.
Rip Larry.
Oh, Larry.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many years it's been, but it wouldn't be very practical to keep the gas around. Not every cultist has the same, level of power as me, says Maxwell.
So you think they might have just dispelled it?
They might have done something to get rid of the gas, yeah. I'm not saying that's for sure the case, but it wouldn't make sense to keep all that around and have an operation of this size.
I guess we can check it out. We just might also die.
I mean, if that's true and, there are people who still wouldn't be able to survive in the toxic gas, but if people just knew about it and were afraid about it, nobody's going to question that. They're just not going to go to the goddamn mines. So it is possible that they might have dispelled it.
Joanna nods. I mean, no one's going to question if people still say it's got toxic gas in there. I mean, who'd want to go out to check?
Yeah.
Me.
I'll go check. Let's go!
I forgot to prepare my spells today, and now that I know I can, I now know one of the spells I should prepare.
Oh boy. Alright. So, do you want to do anything else before venturing out into the woods towards the mines?
Yes, I want to use the hat disguise.
Okay.
I will just do the same disguise I was using before.
I want to do some general looting, if there's anything still around.
Make an investigation check.
Why investigation?
Right?
You know what? I'll help you out because I actually have a pretty decent roll in investigation, so... By which I mean, but you know what, whatever, I'll still do it. Oh.
Bum, bum, bum! Incredible. Spending some time ducking into and out of buildings, there's not a lot in terms of, like, coinage, but there are a couple of trinkets that you wager you could sell on the market for around 80 gold once you got to the market.
There ain't no market here anymore.
There ain't no market in Whitevane!
Oh.
No.
Damn.
But I could pocket it for the future if I survive this horrible mess.
Hopefully.
Can I also look, but I want to look for specifically a bow or ranged weapon I can use?
Sure, go for it.
Wait, I fucking have a bow now. When did I get that?
What?
Who gave me a bow?
I don't know.
Asleen had a bow this whole time.
Oh, well, I got it after I got fireball, it looks like. So, what the fuck? Okay.
Actually, there is something else I want to look for. I want to look for Daisy. I feel bad for losing Valthiv's bird.
Alright.
Alternatively, if I can't find Daisy, I want to find my own burb.
So, 14 in investigation. A raven comes flying down, lands on Valthiv's shoulder.
Yay!
Oh. Well.
Oh!
Wait, hold on. Better safe than sorry.
Daisy?
10 minutes go by, and... Daisy?
Hi! Found a cloud!
Okay,
It wasn't the right cloud! Then I found another cloud! It wasn't the right cloud! Then I found another cloud! It wasn't the right cloud! Then I found another cloud!
Hold on. What about the other clouds?
I think I can make the story a lot shorter! I don't think I found the right cloud!
You know what? That's okay. We're glad to have you back, buddy. And I know someone else who's been missing you a little bit, too.
I kind of forgot you existed.
Oh!
Thanks, Minerva!
Daisy cannot understand Minerva, only Kaleo.
Oh,
So-
god damn it.
But, with Daisy back in hand, you head down towards the mines of Whitevane and feel a surge of sinister energy coming on as for the first time in a while, we can draw from the deck of many horrors.
Oh my god, I both feel excited and concerned. Second of all,
Fear.
who drew last time,
I
literally
cannot
I don't even know. It's been so long.
I want to do it.
Okay, you volunteered.
Alright, 3, 2, 1,
No,
draw.
I did.
You haven't played it yet, though.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit,
two, one,
I accidentally tabbed out.
Oh shit.
It's the priest.
The priest, okay.
What's that mean?
Pretty sure that's an alright one. I mean, there's 52 in here, so who knows?
Mr. Priest, please do good things.
Aren't you a cleric?
Alright.
Yes?
Priest
And?
versus priest. Priest versus priest.
Priest versus priest. Priest versus priest. As you head out into the dark woods, you see a bunch of bloodied men in priest's robes, matching the robes of Pelor, god of the sun, whose grand temple you visited a couple weeks back, I think, at this point. Just rocking in a forest clearing, leaning against trees, bleeding out, babbling to themselves about how the glory of the sun.
Okay. We should probably help them.
Blocks out the shadow. Go ahead.
We should help them.
Holy shit, people that aren't dragged to oblivion and back.
I agree with Lean.
But they still look terrible.
Okay.
Hello?
One of them, the one who looks least wounded, turns his head to you, sharply inhales. Greetings, son-child. Blessed be Pelor. Blessed be his judgment, which will soon come to us all.
I don't know. Wait. Yes, of course. Looks to Valthiv, who is Pelor.
I'm pretty sure that's the sun dude.
Praise the sun! Praise the sun!
That's the spirit, Kaleo. That's definitely helping these people right here.
Definitely
I don't
helping
know, it
these people.
probably is, actually.
Should we just heal them?
How is it that we can help you today?
Looks down at their many wounds. I'm afraid we're all a little expended in terms of his blessing today. If you have
What?
any medicinal kits to spare, then those would be appreciated.
What happened?
We heard of a curse over this town. Frightful demon of some kind, who made it so the sun would never shine on this mountain. We set out to rid the world of it. Its beasts found us first.
That'll get you. Anyway,
As we talk, just the thought.
Sorry, say again?
I'm just saying out of character. Maybe we should heal them as we're talking, just a thought.
I thought that's what
Yeah.
was happening.
I mean,
Yeah, well, I
I can
can't.
do it if they don't become offended that I'm praying in the name of another god. Just saying.
I don't pray to heal, but I mean, I can at least do a medicine check.
Oh yeah, those are a thing.
Yeah, medicine checks exist. Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
Lee,
damn.
you're doing a fairly good job of, like, closing the wounds, making sure these people aren't going to bleed out or die from shock or whatever, basically stabilizing them. Yeah, you're all doing fine. Minerva, you're just handing over medical supplies.
You know what?
Bring 'em
Helpful!
Like, a bandage, please.
Scalpel.
Scout 4 steps. Sandwich.
Yeah, I'd say you're totally fine to keep these people stable.
Hey,
That should do it.
Yeah. We don't have any, or at least I don't have any, like, kits that I can give you for further healing, but I hope this helps.
You have done a great service today, child. May the light finally shine upon you.
Kaleo gives them a parting gift, because I have no other use for these. Kaleo gives them a parting gift of a bar of soap. Soap.
Just soap. These people look a lot cleaner than the usual White Vein crowd, but they appreciate the soap.
the soap.
Disinfect those wounds.
I have been reduced to 8 bars.
8 bars of
Oh,
soap.
wow.
8.
That's still a lot.
I hope you don't mind me asking one more question.
Of course, child.
The people who attacked you, what did they look like?
Some were just men, others demons in their shape. We tried beating them back, but something burst from their body. Something not of this world.
You?
Looked like one worm and many, all at once.
Does this sound like anything Kaleo would know of?
Make an Arcana check.
Definitely not. That.
Why not?
Okay. Yeah, no.
No.
Hey!
Minerva,
For shits and gigs.
Minerva, you're familiar with this.
Yeah!
You're familiar with the concept of parasite demons, basically, that infest themselves in hosts and basically exist to dig into people's bodies and create more of themselves. They also tend to latch onto the bodies of much, much bigger and scarier creatures, typically demon lords, but it would not be unheard of for some to come from Zephyra.
So
That
just to
must be
simplify
fun.
things for the player, they're chest bursters.
They're giant demon tapeworms.
So Zephyra has tapeworms?
Zephyra has worms confirmed.
Zephyra has worms, and they don't fucking slow her down in the slightest.
It's just another way of dieting. The worms get the calories.
Yeah. How do you think I keep this gorgeous figure?
Oh my god.
I'm guessing it's not soap!
I hate you.
Well, you should get to safety.
Of course. Best of luck on your travels. If those beasts are still in the area, you'll need it.
Thank you.
May the light guide you to safety and prosperity.
And you as well. And
The sun will
priests-
return.
And the priests of the sun finish saying their goodbyes and hobble off towards town.
I like them. What?
Yeah. I don't like the things they were describing.
No way.
No.
I agree with you there.
We should hurry then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound like a heaping helping of anything fun, mutters Paratha, as... I'm assuming that Paratha and Joanna went with you and you did not try to... Paratha, Joanna, and Maxwell, rather, went with you and you didn't dissuade them from coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. They can
All right.
come.
After,
They know what's up at this point.
Yeah! After a trek through the woods, you get to this big old entrance into this yawning cave mouth with several wooden planks and boards just nailed over the side and a huge sign mounted on top of the boards with the words, condemned, and then like an inscription in Dwarven below that, and below the Dwarven inscription, keep out.
I can read the Dwarven.
Alright. The Dwarven reads, "This mine is condemned by order of Skull Silverburn. It fell into we dug into something we shouldn't have, and then there was a lot of toxic gas. So if you want to come down here and die choking on your own bile, be my guest. If you don't, then keep the fuck out! Now I'm gonna just go write this in common for all of you fucking idiots who don't speak my language." And then it ends in the second, keep out.
Lean reads this in to herself, and then she's like, it's nothing important.
Looks at the common
Mhm.
tongue. Looks pretty important.
No.
You know,
Well-
just to be safe. Because Khalil's been around enough flowers and vines and poisonous flora to know what poison is like. So he's just gonna err on the side of caution and just better take a few minutes to prepare himself for whatever may come. So, yeah.
Alright. It's a ritual spell, so cool, that does not take up a spell slot as you start preparing for stuff.
I love ritual spells.
So are we going in?
No, he's ritualing.
Yeah.
No,
He's
actually,
ritualing.
it takes a
gotta-
few minutes.
you gotta do ritual.
He takes a few minutes, damn it.
Afterwards.
Patience.
Patience.
I don't have any.
No, starts banging on the wood with my hammer.
Paratha joins in and just starts, like, ripping planks off of the entrance with you.
Minerva pokes it.
Oh my god, stop. If there is poison in there, you're gonna let it all out.
I don't know, I can hold my breath.
You are stupid.
No, he can.
I can! I can hold my breath for 15 minutes!
I
Volk is a
know.
lizard folk, he's fine.
I know, but not all of us are lizard folk.
Stand the fuck back!
Okay, I think I'm ready.
And just as you say that,
oh,
crack! The last of the boards is just smashed off of the entrance. And you kind of feel, rather than hear, this yawning from inside as air moves out from the cave mouth. Paratha sniffs the air, squinches up her face, takes a couple steps back. Don't smell any poison gas right now, but definitely silver down there. Something reeks. Like, reeks.
there's gotta be
Well,
something
since you did the ritual anyway, do you detect any poison?
You do not, Kaleo.
Also 30 feet, so, But anyways, not at the moment, no. Still, best to err on the side of caution.
Mm-hmm.
Keep this going while I can.
You got this, Kaleo.
What about... Don't worry about me. If there is silver down there, we need to find a way to keep Paratha safe.
I mean, long as I don't touch it, I should be fine.
Just stay away from the walls then.
Can do. Probably.
Yeah.
He mutters. Alright. Are you going into the mine?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, fuck it.
Ha! Background.
Background! You all step into the dark tunnels of the mine as lanterns flicker above you, providing dim light down the long and winding rock tunnels and corridors, before finally the lanterns get dimmer and dimmer, and you find yourself deep beneath the earth in White Vein Mine. And we're going to take our break right there.
Hey!
Alright.
Oh boy. We'll see you all in like 10, 15 minutes as we go exploring a mine. Woo!
Woo!
Welcome back to Rolling with Remix, the Cannibal Conspiracy returns. When last we left off, our heroes went into a mine. Is there toxic gas in there? Maybe. We have detect poison and disease and a werewolf who can sniff that stuff out. So, probably. We'll figure that out. It is incredibly dark in this mine. Those who have dark vision, so that would be Kalale and Minerva, I believe. I'll double check for Maxwell. No, he does not have dark vision.
Oh.
So those who can see in the dark are not struggling by the flickering and failing lamplight up ahead. Can see that this place hasn't been used as like an actual mine for a long time. Carts, picks, and other equipment are just shoved off to the side. Bits of ore just kind of scrabbled over. Their spiderwebs on equipment with disuse. Lean, you have dancing lights as a spell, so you conjure up a bunch of floating orbs of light so that you can actually, see. That's helpful.
Just a bit.
Don't worry if you don't have dark vision.
But I do.
Shut up.
More light!
More light!
I will also just put this here for the chat, but if there are any creatures down here who are specific to this... Oh, I clicked the wrong button. If there are any specific creatures who are specific to this, then Kalale does have Umbral Sight, so if they specifically rely on dark vision, they will not be able to see him.
Nice.
Okay. Alright. You you continue down the winding passageways until the minecart tracks just kind of stop. Looks like they've been pried upward into makeshift curls to stop any tracks that do go down, just breaking off the tracks entirely from the rest of the big old stone labyrinth before you.
Someone put effort into this.
I mean, they are dwarves. I'll give them this. They have really nice craftsmanship.
Yeah, they do, actually.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's supposed to mean that I was trained by dwarves, so anything I make is an extension of dwarves' craftsmanship.
I am both impressed and concerned.
Baraka just kind of kicks at the broken railway. Their destruction ship's pretty good, too.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's also true.
They did it very artfully. But that's not why we're here.
I don't actually think that was them. At least,
Well,
I don't
someone
think it was
did this very artfully and took way too much effort to, like, do this. Because honestly, just break it and be done with it. But they just went a whole other level. But again, that's not why we're here!
Alright. You continue down the pathway, and it splits off in two directions. One heading to the left, and one heading to the right. Which way is north, it's hard to tell this far underground without, anything that would help give you a sense of direction.
Huh.
Do I have something that will help with this?
Quickly looks at all my shit.
Yeah, seriously, I should know this by now, but apparently I do not. The Wild, Secrets of Nature. Okay, actually, just for expedience sake, is there a map that we're going to be following later, or no?
There is a map that you will be following later. You're not currently on it because you're not in combat.
Okay, I'll just put this here in the event that we do end up using it. But I don't know if we will. So, anyways. I don't...
Man, it sure would be convenient if I was a dwarf, then I could use Stone Touch, but I'm not a dwarf.
You were trained by dwarves, but you...
Well, whose fault is that?
Yeah. Society offers up Paratha.
Yeah, it really is society's fault.
Well,
Society.
when in doubt, go right?
Is that how that works?
Yeah. Well, that's how I've been told.
Sure, fuck it, let's go right.
Cool. Alright. You start heading off down the rightmost passageway, and as you go, Kalale, you've got the highest passive perception and also umbral sight. You see hints of, something shiny, peeking through the stonework, like someone tried to carve away, but abandoned it very early on, midway through, to dig and see if there's something shiny and valuable underneath.
Oh no. I am no expert on the pretty shiny, but based on our previous encounters, would this happen to be silver?
This is a silver mine, so it would most likely be silver.
Does Paratha have dark vision?
Paratha does not have dark vision. I double-checked.
I can send the dancing lights over if you point it out.
I'm going to look to Lean and say, there is some bad touch stuff nearby if you catch my drift. And if
I send the dancing lights over to it so that people can see.
Alright. With the benefit of light, you can confirm, in fact, that is silver beyond the rockwork. Paratha snarls at it and, scoots over towards the back of the group. Kalale, once you get in 30 feet, you can sense some poison also behind that wall.
Oh, that was quick.
Mm-hmm. let me double check.
Is it airborne? Is it a gas? What is it?
It would be some kind of gas. I was about to roll publicly and not for private purposes for identification. It's an airborne gas, and because detect poison and disease will tell you the type of poison it is. That is stoneflesh virus. As you might expect, inhalation may end up petrifying people. There are cases of people recovering, but not a whole lot. It's not a natural disease.
Now, I'm not saying I'm an expert on this kind of thing, but the voices in my head are telling me that there's some kind of virus in the air up ahead to do with stone and flesh.
So, avoid.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
So, turn around, go the other direction? Or...
Unless you have a better idea. If only... I wish we had some way to, like, blow it away or something. If that's even a possibility. I don't even know if that would work.
Joanna offers up, I think as long as we stick to the other wall and don't try to break that one open, we should be fine to go around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm skeptical about how easy that sounds. Are there, like, any traps around that are gonna, like, collapse the wall?
Make a perception check.
Ooh, my favorite.
Oh, thank God, it's perception and not investigation.
I don't think I need to make one
Yeah.
with that.
Alright, Valthiv, with the benefit of light on your side, you take a look around for any traps. This place is, like, covered in a couple of support beams holding up walls and the ceiling. They look to be of dwarven design, and they look to be very, very recent, but they don't look to be trapped.
Okay. Well, I guess just tread forward with caution, but doesn't seem like there's any traps around here. And, you know, avoid the fucking wall.
The player got distracted. Can you repeat that?
No traps. We good. Just be careful.
We gooch.
Also, the support beams look a bit newer, so I don't think the dwarves were responsible for those. People have been here.
Oh. Okay.
We'll still have to remain cautious then. Okay. I guess I'll go first since I'm keeping track of all of this.
Yep.
Alright.
Whale's gonna slowly but surely move over the wall.
Can I get a marching order?
Yeah,
I'll go second.
Okay. You can also feel free to put Joanna, Paratha, and Maxwell anywhere in the marching order.
Maxwell's at the back.
Maxwell's at the back.
The back. He should probably be flanked by someone.
I also feel like we should have either someone with really high perception or someone who's really tanky in the back just for ambush purposes, in case we...
I'm tanky!
Do you want to go to the back?
Valthiv is both tanky and has high perception.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, in the back of my mind, like, I have, like, big concern levels about the amount of silver in this mine in Paratha, so I want to, like, keep an eye on everybody.
Yeah, in that case, why don't you be in the back and I'll be in the front?
Yes.
I can stay near the front so I can keep the light in the front for Paratha.
That's a good call.
Alright. I'll just put Paratha in the dead middle and Joanna right behind her.
That's radical.
Also, as a side note, the light I have, is like a 20-foot radius, also, so it definitely helps out a bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You scoot around the silver vein, and under the dwarven support beams, and then eventually the tunnel widens out, and you find yourself in this room with a bunch of large stone containers with chains over them, padlocked, pushed up against the walls in like little side chambers. And in the center is this massive stone pillar that looks to be like covered in webs and some dripping translucent liquid.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch
Also, my weakness, locked boxes.
Valthiv, no.
It's not worth it. It's worth it. It's not. It is. What if there's stuff?
If that triggers any possible... Wait, actually... Because...
Yeah, there probably is stuff. That stuff being death.
I was gonna say Khalil hasn't been notified of whether or not that there's anything in that's deadly, so...
I'm assuming you're just recasting detect poison and disease whenever it runs out as a ritual. Because currently you have nothing to make you hurry and try to cast that faster. You do not detect any poison or disease in the big old stone... Where are my words today? In the big stone boxes that are chained up.
Well, I don't know about any other kinds of traps or magic, but if you're talking about poison, there's nothing in there.
Is there traps?
Actually, gameplay question. Is it possible to have 2 ritual spells going at the same time?
If they're both concentration, then no.
Yeah,
They are.
you can only have one concentration spell up at once, but I don't think Detect Poison and Disease is concentration. That being said, the duration of Detect Poison and Disease is 10 minutes.
Detect magic uses concentration. Fuck. Oh, but I'm not using any concentration spells at the moment.
You're not concentrating.
Yeah.
Dude, scrub.
You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it.
Go for it.
Be super cautious. Super cautious, Khalil, tonight.
Okay. Your sniffing nose for poison temporarily fades as instead you get this primal awareness of magic around you. You do not detect any... Actually, no, that's a lie. You detect illusion magic on the boxes.
Oh.
Are they fucking mimics? Are those fucking mimics?
Bruh.
What's going on, Cleo? What do you have to say about the boxes? Are they worth it or not?
Looks up at Valthiv. Now, I may be stupid.
No, that's me.
Right,
Go on.
You're right, I'm sorry. No, these things are, these things are surrounded with magic. I think they might be trapped, yeah. These things are dangerous. Don't open them, please.
Disappointing. What's the point of boxes if you can't open them?
Smashing them, maybe? I don't know. Or climbing on them. I do like climbing on boxes.
Oh, so
Not
you
as
get to
satisfying
climb
as
on the
climbing
boxes.
up-
I can't fucking open them.
Don't climb on them, please.
I like hiding in boxes sometimes.
Don't hide in it either.
Can we leave the boxes alone? Says Joanna. I know I'm saying that as the Thief King, but can we leave the boxes alone? And not climb through them?
Ah, fucking fine. We'll leave them alone.
That said, how on earth is this liquid?
Don't touch it.
I'm not touching it, but...
Trying to determine if that would set off detect magic. Khalil, heads or tails?
Oh.
I have no tail, so heads.
Kaleo, you detect magic from the strange liquid. Conjuration magic.
Sorry, just taking a drink. That's the creation-y stuff, isn't it? That liquid is creating things. Or maybe it was created from something. Creation-y magic!
So what you're saying is don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Got it.
Welcome to the
I'm not
minds of
about
don't
touching
touch.
strange
says
liquid
Baraka.
anyway.
We're not touching anything.
Cautious Kaleo
Let's
is
go.
now making Kaleo.
Alright. You move down the corridor as it narrows and starts to widen. Kaleo, your passive perception is high enough that you can start to hear conversation down the hallway.
Shit.
It's in common, and most of what you hear is along the gist of bountiful harvest this time. Yes, I can imagine that at long last Our Lady will be pleased with our efforts.
Cultists. Whispers. Cultists.
They're actually here.
Here they are. Here. Two of them. Possibly more.
Can you see them?
Can Kaleo make out a shape at all?
Let's see if you would have direct eye line from where you are. Kinda. Yeah, kinda. You can see, humanoid, robed, or average height and build.
We could take them.
Any specific creatures, or are they like hooded or cloaked or something?
They are hooded and cloaked.
What do we do?
Unless we actually want to encounter them, which I don't think we do.
No.
You're best off trying to sneak around or go the other way.
Excuse me? I don't know how to fucking sneak.
I'm not very good at sneaking, says Maratha.
Alright, we should turn back.
We can't turn back. There's no other way to go.
The other way in the fork?
The other way is the poison.
We don't know that.
You fucking go that way.
Let's see if it had occultists.
I think I'd rather take the cultists.
I mean, they look like fucking cowards to me.
I am really hesitant about this, but part of me really wants to throw a smoke bomb.
Oh my god. That would be really fucking funny.
That would be
Is it
so
just-
good because we're in the mines.
Is it just a straight path, or is there a fork?
It is not. It's like you can see the edge of the humanoid cloaked figure from where you are, Kaleo, but it's like one 90-degree turn, another 90-degree turn to get into their chamber.
I think Kaleo is going to... I'd like Kaleo to try and scout one of the other paths to see if there's anything else in the other direction.
Okay. Yeah, you can backpedal back to the fork in the road. You start heading that way, and you hear the sound of murmuring and coughing and clanking from down the left path, the one that you did not take.
Sorry, flanking?
Clanking, yes, as in metal going clank, clank, clank as someone moves.
I think we're cornered either way.
Oh, are you back?
Oh, right, I guess Kaleo
yeah.
was the only one.
Kaleo runs back.
You have to shoot for it, fuck it.
cornered. How many were on the other side? I couldn't see an exact number, but I did hear clinking. Something metallic. I just kind of like glance over at Rotha. I'm like, I'm not about that life.
Rotha doesn't have disadvantage on stealth. She just doesn't have the attitude for stealth. I mean, it wasn't you, so...
But... Alright, well then... Do we take these guys, or... what? Or do you want to throw that fucking smoke bomb and we can try to... just cheese it?
Actually, one
I
last
think
question before we make this decision. Can Kaleo make out any sort of... first of all, are they armed? And if they are, can Kaleo make out a sheen on any of their weapons if they are, to see if they look silvery?
Not from this angle, you can't.
Okay.
Definitely.
We need to make sure they don't alert anyone else.
Yeah, well, and here's the other thing. We're gonna have to get past them one way or the other. And I think if you use that smoke bomb, we should go the way with the metal. Because that might be someone protecting something important.
So we go back.
I think that's our safest bet.
Not our
Alright.
safest, but our smartest.
It is a bet.
You do a little do-si-do around the stone pillar to get back into the marching order, and head off towards the left flank. Clank, clank, clank is still audible, but it is a little bit further down.
Can we see it all? What's causing it?
You cannot from where you are. It is very, very audible because you're in the middle of an enclosed mine. But, as you look down the passageway, you see a couple of side passages, each of which have, like, wooden boxes in them. Detect magic is still up, Kaleo?
Yes.
Okay. The boxes radiate pretty strong transmutation magic.
Oh.
Change magic. Changing magic. Shifty.
Shifty.
Like shapeshifty.
I know what shapeshifty means.
I also know what shapeshifty means. I do the shapeshifty, says Barappa.
So do we keep going?
Well, maybe it'll be easier to sneak since I go clang, clang, clang. It'll be disguised by their clang, clang, clang.
That's true.
Alright.
Sorry, out of character.
Welcome to the CC2 crew, Sneak Through Tunnels ASMR.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Basically. I have alarm prepared, but I don't know whether or not to...
Don't use alarm.
Alarm's great if you're staying in one place.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
keep going.
You keep on going and get to a place where thick wooden planks tied together with like sturdy rope and a couple of like iron spats nailing it in place for all intents and purposes form a makeshift ramp deeper into the mine. Down at the bottom of it there looks to be an exposed silver vein that Rotha can see at the edge of the light and just hisses at, giving it the death glare.
Alright, we're just gonna go around that.
You move away from the silver vein and into a large series of like interconnected tunnels. These have the lights covered up by like thick, what looks to be webbing, and all around you is like cocoons that have been split open or that are just kind of like plastered against the wall. A bunch of insectoid corpses all piled into one of the corners. Basically like webs and other insect and arachnid traces everywhere. It radiates conjuration magic, Kalale.
Oh, no.
You.
So someone created the spiders then, so these weren't naturally spawned then?
These are not natural webs.
What kind of spiders are they?
Make an arcana check.
What, not nature? Really?
Make an arcana
They're
check.
magic spiders!
Yes.
Why not?
Oh. Okay.
Kalale, you would wager a guess that, like, these might be related to the demon worms that you were warned about by the priests of Palor earlier. Like, some other kind of demonic or extraplanar insectoid creature just leaving bits and traces of itself before moving on to do whatever the hell it wanted in the rest of the mine. Probably came over with the worms.
These don't look like any of the spiders I've seen in the caves around the forest. They look demonic.
Can we go? I don't like them.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward.
Alright.
Guys, yeah, we can't just keep going back and forever. We have to keep going.
There is a way, looking at the map through these webs, that goes through the least amount of webs. Like, no way that completely avoids them, but you can take a long route if you don't want to risk getting caught in demon webs.
No, she's not saying to avoid them, she's more saying she just wants to get away from the pile thing.
Okay. Okay, cool. You continue, like, ducking under or carefully stepping over webs and, like, leavings of the insects, getting closer to the clanking, and now all of you can hear the muttering and coughing along with it.
It's nice.
When you say muttering, is that in common, or...?
Lean, it sounds like broken dwarven. Heavily vulgar broken dwarven.
Well, I can listen.
Several permutations of basically the words fuck and shit. No particular rhyme or reason to them, just vague cursing out at everything.
Lane is just like, they're just saying fucking shit all the time. They're not really saying anything now.
So me.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not too happy being here. Based on what the sign outside said, it didn't exactly seem like the most pleasantries.
Well, I thought they were all gone.
Maybe not.
Maybe the living ones.
Maybe just, held captive.
Could be. I mean, should we look closer or should we go somewhere else?
Well, depends. If we look closer and they see us, will they become very loud?
I mean,
Well,
they're
they're already
dwarves.
loud.
They're dwarves, offers up Joanna. I don't know many quiet dwarves, is the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Excuse me while I try and recall whether or not dwarves have dark vision.
They do.
Wait,
They do.
Unless they're Duragar.
Ew. Okay, that helps a lot.
Duergar would have better dark vision, I would think. They live in the Underdark.
Yeah.
That helps a lot then. Khalil's just, in that case, Khalil's just gonna kind of sneak over, just kind of scout ahead, but do it in a quiet fashion, just to get a better look.
Okay.
I believe he has the equipment for it. If I can pull up the Boots of Elvenkind.
Oh yeah, definitely. You have the sneaky shoes to move around.
I have sneak shoes and I have under sight, so if it is a dwarf, then it won't be able to see me.
Alright. You sneak forward into the next chamber, and you see this hulking figure in big plate armor. Looks to have been polished silver at one point, but has since become stained with, like, rust and blood and all sorts of other substances you cannot quite identify. There are, like, spikes on it, and there appears to be, like, some sort of substance oozing between the joints as the hulking figure moves, coughs in its helmet, goes to one of the lights that's covered by webs and starts, like, ripping the webs off with big old gauntleted hands.
You said that... I'm sorry, repeat to me what you said the size was? It was, like, giant-esque, or...?
It's a set of dwarven plate mail. There's definitely a dwarf in there that is cursing, coughing, and hacking, but it's bulky as hell, even by dwarf standards.
Does he seem particularly aware of anything that he's doing?
Make an insight check. He looks to be aware of his surroundings, like moving with purpose throughout them.
That might be Skull.
Might be what?
It might be Skull. The guy who wrote the sign.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, okay. I think Khalil has seen enough, and just in case he doesn't really want to... Yeah, he's gonna walk back to the party. Yeah, that's a dwarf, alright.
But not a cultist?
Doesn't seem like it. I didn't really get any particular signs.
What's he doing here?
Not sure. He just seemed to be minding his own business.
Well, that's weird.
Why are they just here and not doing anything about the literal flood of cultists that are just here, littered everywhere?
I don't think he's helping, do you? You don't think he's helping, do you?
No, they wouldn't have one stand out.
So
I mean,
what should we do about them?
That's a fair point, though. Like, why would the cult not do anything about this if he's just here?
Well, we either ask him or we move on.
So go back to the cultists the other way, or?
Well, there's nowhere else to go.
I don't think we're in a good spot to go to them.
I can ask him, but I just don't know if he's gonna be wanting to talk is all.
Just make sure he's quiet, though, if you do talk.
Yep, that's not gonna happen.
Well, be optimistic.
I don't know, do we have like some kind of sound cancelling magic?
Let me
Silence is a spell.
It
Is
I wouldn't get it until I was level 5.
I don't have anything though. Guess we just have to breathe it.
No, we're not supposed to breathe it. It's poison in here, remember?
I said brave, not breathe.
Oh, my bad.
Wait, so there is poison in here?
No,
You don't know,
what?
you turned off detect poison and disease.
You know what? Fuck it.
Alright.
Actually,
Detect
he was
poison.
coughing, so...
Yeah. You can cast that as a ritual and go back to check if you want.
Wait a minute. This spell isn't concentration. How come I can't have that and detect magic going?
We literally just
Look-
had this conversation before.
Look at the duration. Look at the duration of both, Scott.
10 minutes.
Okay. What's the duration of detect magic?
10 minutes.
How long does it take to cast a ritual spell?
I hate this system.
Math is wonderful.
Fine. I turn off my magic button and turn on my poison button.
All
my
right.
poison and disease button. My
And
bad.
disease button. Alright. Detect poison and disease goes absolutely ape shit as soon as you get within 30 feet of the dwarf. It's pinging, like, multiple different kinds of disease. Like, some he's got, some he's carrying around in vials. There's a lot of poison coming from him.
As in that he's carrying?
As in that he's carrying.
Big E.
Oh. He might be
Alchemist
trying to clear the poison, then.
Rather than go directly back to the party, Kaleo just kind of scoots over to them and kind of just motions 2 fingers around his neck, just going that.
Oh, so we're killing him? Says Paratha, raising her sword.
Immediately shakes his head no.
No.
Motions like a vial in his hand.
You had a
And then
bad...
he's just like,
Your coffee was
Yeah.
shit?
He's an alcoholic.
Well, all dwarves are.
Just defeated, walks over. He's carrying poison. The guy's carrying poison.
Why?
Don't know.
Daisy is being incredibly loud at the thought of dwarf
Yeah.
carrying poison. Am I gonna be mean enough to count that as a reason for him to roll perception?
"Aw." You're evil.
You can't see it, but I'm just making the most sinister of faces right now.
Daisy, shut the fuck up! Daisy!
Well, it's either that or cultists. I don't know.
What? Deal with one single dwarf or several cultists. I think I like our options with the one.
I think, yeah, we should just... I need to try and speak with this guy first.
Agreed.
Right, Liam, you're in charge.
Did I just fucking hear the cracking of knuckles?
Oh yeah, sorry, that was me.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Alex, and I got really concerned. It's
I
like,
can't crack my knuckles. I can't crack my knuckles that effectively. Like, yeah, I tried. Nothing.
Okay. I was gonna get really scared. I was like, what are you about to do to us?
Lean, you can speak Dwarvish, go talk to them.
Okay, you guys are gonna have to be ready to back up.
I will be behind you.
Okay.
Since Kaleo can't be seen by the dwarf, he's just going to guide Lean. Oh wait, no, Lean relies on dancing lights. Fuck, no, never mind. Wait, if it's in a 20-foot... He'll be 20 feet behind her. Exactly 20 feet behind her.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I approach.
Lean, you approach, guided by the dancing lights, and as they start to shine into the chamber, the dwarf stops what he's doing, looks up, looks in that direction.
When he looks over, I yell out, and everything I say is in Dwarvish unless specified otherwise. I yell out, hey, I'm not an enemy.
He goes back in Dwarvish. Visitors! How delightfully inconvenient!
Lean is realizing that her Dwarvish accent isn't entirely on point. Oh yeah! Sorry, inconvenient time!
Did you read the fucking sign?
There's cultists here!
Yeah, and now there's ye! Getting sick and dying!
Yeah! It's not great! I have poisons!
So I can do this, he says, taking one of the vials and just chucking it at you, Lean.
Oh.
Okay, can I dodge out of the way? Or catch it?
You can absolutely try. This is just a straight up attack roll, though.
Are you
Damn.
fucking serious?
BAM! It, So the vial breaks and splashes you and just bursts into this cloud of toxic, choking gas. Make a Constitution saving throw, Lean.
Oh.
Okay. A paralytic toxin seeps through your veins, Lean. You are paralyzed until the end of your next turn, and you take an additional 7 poison damage. You hear this clanking and coughing as the dwarven plate armor just walks off in the other direction.
Does paralyzed mean that she can't speak, by the way?
Yes.
Oh.
That could have gone better. Lean?
Okay.
Plank. About 10 seconds later, Lean, you finally get movement back in your body. That was not fun.
Well.
Oh boy.
Okay.
That was
Like-
definitely a file.
That was fucked. That was not good. I hate you guys.
Why?
Well, because I went there and he threw a poison at me, which made me go from feeling approximately 84 to feeling 61, so that makes me not happy. And then I was paralyzed on the ground and you just kind of stood there, so that was great.
Blair hands her a bar of soap.
Maxwell from all the way at the back. Sorry, what? I didn't say any of that.
Oh.
You're excused.
Okay.
Here. Here, clean up.
Well, we could follow him.
Yeah, we don't know where he's going or who's gonna fucking, alert.
Yeah, we should stop him, maybe.
He also has, a shit ton of poison, though, so I don't know what to do about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, he said he knew about the cultists and that it was inconvenient that there is visitors.
Then we should probably go and stop him.
How far ahead is he right now?
By this point, a fair distance away.
Further
Yeah,
than-
because he waited
further
so
than 90
long to
feet?
get me.
Yes.
Further than 90 feet?
Yes.
Fuck.
Then
You know
let's
what?
run.
Khalil
Let's
will,
fucking go.
Khalil will take a fast walk up ahead of him,
I'll follow.
and if he can get within at least 90 feet, he will cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay. Haleo and Minerva, you run on ahead and stop. when you see just like this pile of rubble blocking the way forward, and no sign of the dwarf.
What?
Oh. Oh, wait a
What?
I can't say it because I'm in character.
Oh.
That sucks.
Oh, did he meld with stone or whatever the spell's called?
The rest of the group starts to catch up.
Where'd he go?
Well, I technically haven't casted Hunter's Mark yet because I didn't see him, so...
Yep.
I switched my mindset from that of poison to that of magic.
Okay. You, carefully look around, looking for any magic. Don't sense any.
So he didn't disappear. Or at least he's not directly present.
Oh, now we have no choice but to go back.
That's annoying. Well, at least we know we don't have to fight him.
Well, not necessarily. He could come back.
If he does, at least we know what he's armed with.
Yeah, which is also super inconvenient.
I just sometimes look on the bright side of things, you know?
Well.
Well, I'm just gonna
Are we
go
gonna
ahead and double check something.
Oh,
Oh no. I don't like that.
I do not like that at all.
Kaleo, what's your passive perception?
Oh no.
If I recall correctly, it is 22.
Okay. In that case, this creature cannot beat 22. As you turn around, Kaleo, you see this collection of tiny worms just like retreat behind a rock outcropping, and a few of them just kind of peek out and observe the party, but don't necessarily move close.
Are these what the priests described earlier?
You detect magic from them, necromancy magic.
Death.
Yes, death happens a lot.
No,
Mm-hmm.
death magic.
Oh. Well, now what?
They
I
don't-
sit unhappily.
Wait, what?
I sit unhappily. That's what we do now.
They don't... You said they don't look like they're going to strike?
They do not look like they're going to strike. They just look like they're watching curiously.
Hmm.
I don't know how to feel about this.
We should keep moving.
If we do, someone should keep an eye on them just in case.
I'll try and keep an eye on him.
All
You
right.
and Daisy can team up.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
God, Chloe, can you tell Daisy not to eat those?
Can we just
Daisy-
say... for the sake of
Daisy
argument's
flies over
sake-
towards the worms, starts pecking at them.
Daisy, now!
Can we just say for argument's sake, so I don't have to keep casting spells over and over again, that I just have speak with animals?
Well, that's also a ritual spell, so... boop.
Daisy, maybe not.
Daisy looks over and caws, "Why?" as the worms back off from her and start forming into the shape of, like, this humanoid figure under a robe, just comprised entirely of worms.
That's why.
You.
Daisy looks over, says, "Shit!" flies back.
Time to leave!
It's time to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, nope, says Maxwell immediately, running from that.
Yep, let's run.
Alright.
Before we do, Khalil takes a quick look behind him to get a good look at the shape of the figure.
It looks humanoid, like in the sense that something described a humanoid to the worms at one point, and this is its best imitation of humanoid under the robe to hide the fact, very poorly, that it's a bunch of worms. It does not pursue.
Oh.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
That makes things a little easier.
Okay.
Alright, so going back the way we came.
Alright. You go back the way you came, hearing the worms kind of collapse back into a pile, and some whispering coming from within the pile in Infernal.
I understand that.
Okay. Minerva, it sounds like whatever's whispering is saying, not friend, not enemy, not anything. We do not.
Unaligned.
Oh. We do not. Okay.
Unaligned
Suspicious.
creature, got it.
What?
Unaligned creature, got it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't think we're at risk of being attacked by it, at least.
What do you mean? It tried... Oh, because Daisy provoked it. Daisy!
What?
Daisy
look
was
delicious!
just a bird.
Oh, you didn't eat one, did you?
Khalil, just assume that Khalil's going to translate whatever, anyone else wants to say to Daisy.
No, I was told Daisy no, and then there was this giant worm, man, and I was like, ah! And then I flew back and was like, ah! And everyone was like, ah! And then we left!
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I think if you see another worm like that, maybe you should not eat that. I don't like the look of it.
Yeah.
We'll get you something nice when we get home.
Yeah, it'll be much better than those.
Yeah, like waxworms or something, anyway.
Something probably more delicious than a bunch of animate worms that form into a worm, man. Ah!
Exactly.
Alright. And double checking that. Cool. You head back the way you came through the web chambers, and as you get back to a fork in the road, the flickering lamplights above you flicker more intensely, and then go out.
Oh,
Mm.
that doesn't bode well for at least 2/3 of the party. I'm no expert on technology at all, or lighting of any sort. Does that look like it was stuffed out magic? I don't have detect magic. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna shut up now.
Well, Lane has some mechanical knowledge.
Okay. Make an intelligence check then, Lane.
Oh yeah, intelligence.
Intelligence.
I do know a thing about light, though, so I'll give you some advantage.
You put your heads together and try to wonder, is it supposed to do that? Roll again, Lean.
Okay.
I can make objects glowy.
That's
Okay.
better.
Dwarven craftsmanship is not supposed to do that. Something happened to it. Probably something magical.
Here we go again!
Okay. Khalil sighs, goes back to casting Detect Magic.
It's not easy being a walking Swiss Army knife.
Khalil's being a fucking champ right now.
Khalil just rapidly guzzling the different detect juices.
I come back to detect juices?
Detect juices. Yeah, Khalil, you detect whatever made the lights turn off. Let me double check what this spell in particular is. Like, it might not be this exact spell, but it's close enough. That does not sound right. You detect conjuration magic. A lot of it, actually, coming from, like, right next to you.
Oh. What is a Khalil?
Khalil's not going to say anything. He's just going to... Wait, when you say right next to him, do you mean to the side or behind him?
Off to the side, a little bit down. You slowly turn that way, and it looks to be coming from your shadow.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Not so good.
Alright.
Khalil leans down, or bends down.
You lean down. Your shadow does not match the movement. And as you go to inspect it, this, like, opening appears around where the shadow's face would be, this row of teeth just appearing from it that speaks out and says, "Boo."
God!
What the fuck was that? What?
Ooh, that actually made me uncomfortable.
The shadow laughs and, like, pulls over onto the wall as Khalil, your own shadow, reappears as you leap back and take a breath. And the familiar-looking silhouette of a tall, long-haired woman appears on the wall, stretching out fingers and waving them one at a time.
Oh. Oh no.
What?
Maxwell, Joanna, and Paratha all look at the wall, and the same thought comes to their minds all at the same time. Shit!
I think shit, and I start, like, getting real defensive. Like, hammer in hand and everything. I'm just like, shit!
Yeah. Yeah, same.
The shadow just starts slinking along the walls, quickly darting back and forth between everyone, and you hear the all-too-familiar voice of the cannibal god coming from it. So nice to have visitors these days, especially faces that are different than the usual crew down here. They don't make for particularly good conversation. So unfortunate.
What do you want? What are you doing here?
What am I doing here? You'd think that would be obvious, Khalil. I want something more than this, she says, spreading her arms and gesturing to the shadow. I want a body in your material plane. What about
You don't deserve a body.
Why do you?
Can't answer that. But I know you definitely don't deserve one.
Oh, well, if you can't answer that clearly, you have no inherent value. Don't feel bad, Valthiv. You feel this pat on your head as the shadow pats your shadow on the head.
Can I try biting it out of reflex?
You absolutely
Get the fuck
can.
away.
It hits thin air.
Chormp.
Yeah. Zephy
you
laughs. I see you still haven't lost your taste for biting. Jen, you're not using it for its intended purpose.
Its intended purpose is to eat food, not people.
What's the difference?
I eat not people, which is also food.
Look, if you're worried about the whole, oh no, they're thinking beings problem, that's very easy to fix, she says, the shadow drifting over towards Maxwell. The instant this one stops
You
moving,
leave him the
he
fuck
will be
alone.
food. Maxwell tries backing away, but Zephy sighs, snaps her fingers repeatedly. Maxwell, honey, this way. And he's got to make a constant charisma saving throw, rather, to avoid being charmed. Which he's got disadvantage on.
Oh, right.
No. Oh,
Yo.
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I try,
Maxwell
like, pulling him away. It's like, Maxwell, now.
Maxwell just stops, frozen in fear, as he just, like, stares off into space, and then turns his head directly to look at the shadows. You try dragging him away. Paratha immediately tries joining you. Honestly, where do you think you're going to go that I can't follow? Says Zephy, just, like, leaning back as the shadow is dragged along with you.
Who's here?
Everyone, Minerva. They've all gathered for my big reunion. Shame you left some of your friends behind. I would have loved to wine and dine with them. But I suppose I can start with a little appetizer. And the shadow, the head just kind of splits open, like the front half leaning back on an axis, as teeth burst from the lower jaw, along with a shadowy tongue that slinks along the walls towards Maxwell's shadow.
Stop! Stop!
What do you do to try and stop? What do you do to try and stop?
I don't know.
I'll just blast it.
Light.
I'll do that.
Light, yeah, light.
Light! Light! Light!
Okay.
Light!
Alright. You cast light and the shadow shifts position, just barely missing Maxwell. But she quickly turns and she's just gonna try the same thing from a new angle.
Oh, fuck. Boink.
An eldritch blast crackles against the wall of the mine.
And?
And? It looks to have left some lasting damage and, like, distorted where the shadow is.
Oh, fuck, I'll do it again then.
Yep. Cool. That's not going to be enough to damage the stonework, unfortunately.
That's alright.
I know this isn't going to work, but only if just to show the group that fucking this thing isn't going to work another time. Throw a bar of soap in her mouth!
Dunk! It bounces against the wall. Kaleo.
It's a shadow.
I know.
It's a shadow, Kaleo. Alright.
We could dogpile Maxwell, so he just doesn't move.
Get rid of his shadow.
Great, but then we're in her way.
Then you're in the way.
I could put dancing lights on the wall so that there's so many light sources that it's, like, too much.
That's good.
Yeah, just distort it.
Yeah.
Give her a seizure.
Right.
Because there's...
So, Valthiv, what are you doing with your light?
Well, seeing as my light is more or less attached to an object that I have, it's radiating from my my warhammer, so I'm just like kind of like swinging it wildly. It's like, stop it!
Woof, woof, woof. You just keep wildly adjusting the shadows. Lean sends off dancing lights to adjust where they're coming from. Zephy just kind of pulls back a little bit, watches as like the strobe light show just distorts her image where she is on every wall. You can't keep that up forever, you know.
Yes, I can. It's camera.
And yet, you still have that, what is the word you mortals call it, tendency to get so exhausted with repeated, stressful movements like this.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have Maxwell.
I've had Maxwell for far, far longer than you. You can try to keep me away from him, but ultimately, what are you going to do but bring him straight to me? I'm just doing this faster.
You can wait.
Faster?
Alright. As Kaleo gets some ideas, Zephy laughs. I been waiting, Minerva. It has not been present.
This is so weird.
Spell number 1. Spell number 2.
What the
Drag Maxwell away.
Gotta go fast.
All right. You
Maybe
grab onto
fast.
Maxwell
But I'm
and just
faster!
bolt, carrying him as fast as you can, which I think with double dashing, you can get out of the light when you do.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
cool.
I say I look to Zafira and say, "You're right. You are fast." And I grab Maxwell's hand and say, "But I'm faster!"
All right. Which way are you going? Back towards where the dwarf was, or in the cultist direction?
Guys,
I don't know. You chose the
just drag
direction in
Maxwell through a bunch
haste.
of cultists.
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah.
direction of the dwarf.
All right. You go back in the direction of the dwarf, dragging Maxwell as Zephy licks her tongue. Oh, ooh, I was so looking forward to tasting that flavor again. And then looks to the rest of you. What I can make do. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Let's run.
Run, please.
It's time to leave.
Yeah, Joanna is just gonna freaking book it after Kalale. She doesn't even care that she can't see in the dark. She is willing to risk bumping into shit rather than being in the light with Zephy.
Yep, I'm gone.
Yeah, same. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
And off you go back into the darkness. There's a lot of stumbling around and bumping into walls and stuff, but eventually you catch back up with Kalale and Maxwell as Maxwell slowly blinks his eye, looks around. Oh shit, it happened again, didn't it?
It happened again.
For now, at least.
Alright.
You're okay. It's okay.
Oh god. She said they're all here.
Every single one of them. Oh gods.
Well, we have a lot of work to do then.
You all catch your breath, thinking about how much you're gonna have to do. And Minerva, you hear an infernal. They return. Lost? Yes, very lost. Surely? They do not. We do not.
That's the wormies.
Right. One thing we don't do, we don't touch the wormies.
You got.
If we don't touch them, they won't touch us.
Understand, Daisy?
Sounds good.
Here's Kristen.
I think
Says
Daisy
Daisy.
learned.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good long-term memory. Ah!
Shh. What's a raven's intelligence again?
Fairly high, I think, for an animal.
I mean, IRL, good, very good.
Oh,
IRL good in D&D terms. I typed in rave and not raven, so it's giving all these unrelated things. So, wisdom of 12, intelligence of 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, out of character, what the fuck do we do?
So, Baratha says, can't go that way, we'll get eaten. Can't go this way, there's rocks. The worms continue chittering to themselves in Infernal, again talking about you being lost.
Well,
Do you want to ask the worms for directions?
Yeah, I was about to say. Alright, Minerva will, approach the worms and say in Infernal,
Hello. I don't suppose you know the way, do you?
The worms stop talking to themselves, form back into the humanoid under the cloak form. Leaning closer.
He stands his ground.
Leaning really, really close to your face, Minerva.
You are lost?
Not lost, more cautious.
By cautious.
Oh, we're worried about the people in here.
Oh, men. People here.
I didn't hear that.
Many people here. Many people came here. Were come here.
Well, do you know what they're doing?
Making her.
Well, I thought so. I don't suppose you know what happened to the dwarf? Do you know where he's gone?
Down passage.
But it's blocked.
Was locked. Was not locked. Is locked. Is not locked.
I'm assuming she's translating.
No.
Oh.
Are you saying there's a way we could get through?
Can be not locked.
How?
Yeah, I would say the worms know what this word is.
All switch.
Oh!
What?
Oh, well, that's very helpful, thank you.
You seek her?
I seek her destruction.
The worms slowly back away.
Oh,
Not.
they don't like that.
Possible. Good luck.
Whew.
What the
she'll-
fuck was that, Minerva?
She'll turn back and she says,
Well, long story short, there's a lever or switch we can pull, and that will unblock the passage where the dwarf went.
Oh,
Alright. Great. Let's look for a lever.
thank you, wormies.
Thanks, Wormies.
Alright, with 7 of you, and because we're at time, it doesn't take that long at all to find a lever that you pull as the rocks just kind of pull themselves upward and back into a little alcove. And then you hear this mechanical as they do.
That's a normal thing for rocks to do.
It's good to have secret passages like that.
It's weird.
Well, if we're gonna find him, this is our best chance. Let's go.
Let's go.
Alright. You walk down the corridor that is behind the rock door with the switch in it, and the stonework under your feet slowly and subtly starts shifting. Like, not actively, like, oh, it's moving, but, like, as you go, the pattern changes from, like, solid earth and stone to, like, something that's been weathered away by, like, liquid. And as you keep on going, it starts smelling worse and worse and worse until you get to the unmistakable leavings of, like, acid marks all over the walls and floor.
All
as
right,
you descend
fine.
into the lower
Christ.
marks.
Jesus Christ.
So this technically isn't poison and disease. It's just acid scarring on the
Okay,
lower
thank God.
mines.
I retract
Oh,
that.
scarring. Okay.
Yeah. Like, really, really bad scarring. I would show you what the map looks like, but we are at time as you have descended into the lower mines of White Vein.
Yeah.
Oh.
We will go down that path next time.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
shit.
Thank you all for watching and for donating. We will see you in 2 weeks for more of the Cannibal Conspiracy Returns. Tomorrow there's going to be more spoops with Call of Cthulhu, and on Sunday it's Team Murder's stream at Camp Streamix. Hope to see you for more, and in the meantime, sleep tight. Don't let the cannibal god bite. Bye-bye!
Bye.